The story of the Ember Earring, Mira and the Guardian of the Hearth. Long ago, in a valley of whispering pines and flowing rivers, there lived a girl named Mira. She was quiet and gentle, but her life was marked by hardship. Her parents, humble woodcarvers, had died tragically. Mira was then taken in by her uncle, a greedy merchant who owned the shop. Enter Bella and Jasper, Mira's cousins. Bella is dressed in fine but slightly gaudy clothes, while Jasper is smirking. They look at Mira's work with disdain. But her uncle's children, two spoiled cousins, Bella and Jasper, resented Mira's quiet grace. They constantly mocked her, their voices sharp and disdainful. Bella nudges Jasper, who rolls his eyes. Bella points a finger at Mira, a sneer on her face. Bella, still playing with wood, timber girl. Don't you ever tire of smelling like a pine forest? Jasper chuckles, flicking a piece of sawdust off Mira's apron. Yes, always covered in sawdust. Never anything fine or proper about you. Mira flinches slightly but doesn't look up, continuing to tidy her workspace, her expression showing quiet resignation. They called her Timber Girl because she always smelled of sawdust and pine resin from the shop where she labored ceaselessly, carving beautiful things others would eventually sell. Mira's only comfort was the silent hope she held deep in her heart, a tiny spark no amount of unkindness could fully extinguish. Mira glances briefly out the window towards the distant, richer part of the valley, a flicker of longing in her eyes, before turning back to her humble tasks. Open on a vibrant, bustling town square, people in winter clothes are excitedly moving about, decorating with evergreen boughs and bright ribbons. A herald stands on a platform, blowing a fanfare. The season had turned cold, bringing with it the most anticipated event of the year, the Duke's Grand Winter Solstice Ball. It was a formal event to celebrate the year's harvest, but its heart was a sacred tradition. At the height of the festivities, a prize known as the Solstice Star Pendant would be awarded to the one deemed to possess the most radiant and generous spirit. Mira, back in the dusty woodshop, she is holding a small, carved wooden star, looking wistfully toward the window where the sounds of the town square faintly carry. Mira dreamed of going, not for the recognition or the pendant, but simply to see the city lights and feel the warmth of a celebration she had only ever heard of in stories. Enter Mira's uncle, a stern, imposing man, holding Mira's carving tools. He snaps them sharply over his knee. You will not be going anywhere, Timber Girl. You're too common, too rough, and far too smelly to ever step foot near the manor. The uncle grabs Mira by the arm and roughly shoves her toward a dark, exterior door. Now get to the woodshed. You're locked away until the festivities are over. Mira stumbles into the cold, dark woodshed. We hear the heavy thud of the door being slammed and the metallic clank of a heavy bolt being thrown home. Mira sinks to the floor, tears filling her eyes. Her uncle locked her away in the cold woodshed, ensuring she would miss the only light she longed to see. Mira wept, cold and defeated, as the sounds of distant celebration faded. Mira, huddled on the cold floor of the woodshed, still weeping softly. The sounds of distant merriment from the manor can faintly be heard through the sturdy wooden walls, making her feel even more isolated. She clutches her small, unlit lantern that night. As Mira wept in silence, the biting cold of the woodshed seemed to seep into her very bones. The distant echoes of the ball only deepened her despair. Mira shivers, pulling her thin blanket tighter. She notices a faint, unusual glow emanating from a pile of firewood in the corner of the shed. She slowly looks up, her eyes wide with curiosity and a hint of fear, but then a warmth, gentle at first, began to spread. A faint glow appeared in the firewood, not from a burning ember, but from within the wood itself. The glow intensifies, shimmering and growing. Small sparks begin to rise from the woodpile, coalescing into a more defined shape. Mira stares, her tears forgotten for a moment, replaced by awe. The glow intensified, shimmering and growing. until it took on a form. It was a radiant, warm figure shimmering like living flame, the spirit of the hearth. The spirit of the hearth, glowing and ethereal, fully emerges from the woodpile. Its presence fills the small shed with a comforting, golden light, chasing away the shadows. Mira gasps, dropping her lantern, which now lights up spontaneously, voice like the gentle crackle of a warm fire. Soft and comforting, you, Mira, have kept the fires of hope burning in your heart. Even in this cold and unforgiving place, you have tended small flames with love and patience your entire life. The spirit floats closer to Mira, its light bathing her in warmth. Mira, though still afraid, feels a profound sense of peace. She looks up at the spirit, mesmerized. You, gentle soul, deserve to step into the light. The spirit of the hearth, a beacon of warmth and light, smiled kindly at Mira. It was a smile that promised not just hope, but a transformation. The spirit extends a glowing hand towards Mira. As its hand draws near, Mira's rough woolen shift begins to shimmer. Golden light envelops Mira, swirling around her. Her old clothes dissolve into light, replaced by something magnificent. She gasps as she feels the magic. With a gentle touch, the spirit wove its magic. Mira's rough woolen shift shimmered, transforming into a gown as pristine and beautiful as fresh fallen snow. The light fades slightly, revealing Mira standing, now dressed in a stunning gown that sparkles gently like 1,000 tiny snowflakes. Her hair is elegantly styled, and a single, radiant earring of ember glows softly in her ear. She stares down at herself, utterly astonished, then touches the earring. Mira whispering, overwhelmed, it's beautiful. I don't even recognize myself. The spirit of the hearth floats closer, its gaze gentle but serious. It gestures towards the earring, and in your ear, Mira, is the earring of ember. It carries the very essence of the hearth's warmth and light. The spirit gestures towards the small barred window, through which the distant, festive lights of the Duke's manor can be seen, along with the faint outline of the grand hearth in the great hall. But heed my warning, dear Mira, look upon the Duke's great hall, where the hearth fire burns brightly for the ball. When that very hearth fire in the manor's great hall dies out, so too will this magic fade. Your gown will return to its simple cloth, and the earring's glow will vanish. The spirit's voice becomes more solemn. Do not let the last ember cool, or all will be lost before you can return. Guard this moment well. Mira looks from the glowing earring to the distant manor, her heart filled with both wonder and a growing sense of urgency. Mira, nodding, a determined look on her face. I understand. I will. Open on the grand ballroom of the Duke's manor. It is opulent, filled with richly dressed guests, music, and laughter. The magnificent hearth crackles merrily, dominating one wall. Close on Bella and Jasper, giggling with some friends, feeling very important. Outside the warm embrace of the woodshed, the winter solstice ball. Wherever Mira walked, her earring of ember did more than illuminate. It infused the room with harmony and hope. People felt warmer, calmer, and full of genuine goodwill. A distinguished, curious lord approaches Mira. My lady, your light is unlike any I have ever seen. It brings true comfort to the heart. Where does such a flame come from? Mira turns, her voice quiet but clear and confident. It is a flame that was given to me, sir. It is here so that no one in this room must sit in darkness. She offers a gentle, radiant smile, touching the glowing earring of ember. The fire in the grand hearth continues to burn steadily. Open on the grand ballroom. The celebration is still in full swing. Mira is talking happily with a group of admiring guests. Suddenly, she glances toward the massive hearth. The fire, which had been roaring, is now noticeably low. Only a few tired flames flicker over a bed of glowing embers. Time had flown by with the swiftness of magic. Mira's heart was light, But the spirit's warning was fixed in her mind. Mira's eyes widen in alarm. She subtly touches the earring of Ember. Its pulse of light seems weaker, just as the final toast of the night was made. Mira looked toward the magnificent hearth. The great fire was dying. The magic was running out. Close up on the hearth, the last few logs collapse, sending up a shower of sparks before settling into a mass of dimming red embers. Close up on the earring of Ember, which pulses its last bright flash before becoming duller, whispering to herself, "Panic, no. The last ember." Mira excuses herself hastily from the surprised group of guests who call after her. She moves quickly toward the exit, her beautiful gown already starting to shimmer and lose its brilliant white color, darkening slightly as the magic withdraws. The magic was already withdrawing. Mira had to flee before her identity was revealed, before the transformation was complete. Mira reaches the grand staircase leading down to the exit. She is moving too fast. We hear a small metallic sound as the earring slips from her ear. She pauses, looking back, but knows she has no time. She continues her desperate flight, glancing over her shoulder at the hearth. She rushed out, barely escaping the fading enchantment, but in her haste, the earring of Ember slipped loose, falling onto the cold marble of the grand staircase, the only remnant of the mysterious lady of the solstice. Open on the Duke's manor, the morning after the ball. The grand staircase where the earring was dropped is now roped off. The Duke, looking perplexed, stands before a crowd of curious and chattering guests, holding the now dull earring of Ember. The morning after the ball, the manor was abuzz not with festive chatter, but with whispers about the mysterious lady who had vanished. The Duke himself was troubled. "Duke, holding up the earring, this magnificent earring was found on our staircase last night. Its glow filled our halls with such joy. The lady who wore it, a beacon of kindness, vanished just as the hearth fire dimmed." Close up on the dull earring in the Duke's hand. "Duke, I declare this. The one whose touch can make this earring of Ember glow again, the one whose spirit truly matches its magic, shall be awarded the Solstice Star Pendant and hailed as the heart of our valley." A long line of eager, finely dressed ladies and ambitious gentlemen forms. Bella and Jasper are among the first, pushing forward with haughty confidence. Many vain ladies and merchants' wives, including Mira's cousins Bella and Jasper, eagerly stepped forward, eager for the Duke's recognition. Each believed they deserved such a prize. Bella steps up. She snatches the earring from a guard and touches it with an arrogant flourish. Nothing happens. Jasper tries next, with an equally pompous attempt. Still nothing. The earring remains dull. Haughtily, "This trinket is broken, Your Grace. It does nothing." Jasper scoffs clearly. "The magic has simply faded. There's no special touch." One after another, guests try. A snobbish countess, a wealthy merchant's wife, a boastful knight. Each attempt fails. The earring remains lifeless. The crowd begins to murmur, disappointment growing. One after another, they tried, but for all their ambition and finery, the earring remained cold and dark. Its magic, it seemed, would not be commanded by mere desire for status. Suddenly, a guard, having scoured the grounds, brings forth Mira. She is back in her simple, sawdust-covered clothes, looking shy and uncertain, pushed gently into the formal setting. Bella and Jasper look at her with utter contempt, not recognizing the timber girl as the mysterious lady. Bella gasps, disgusted. "Why is she here? She'll ruin the carpet with her sawdust." Jasper forces a laugh. "The timber girl, as if she could possess such a thing." The Duke, however, sees the fear and humility in Mira's eyes. He gestures for her to approach the earring. "Kindly, you there, child, do you wish to try?" Mira hesitates, looking from the Duke to the dull earring, then to the sneering faces of her cousins. She slowly nods, takes a deep breath, and steps forward. Open on the Duke's grand hall, where the Duke stands ready to present the prize. Mira, still in her humble clothes, stands before him and the skeptical crowd. The dull earring of Ember is on a small velvet pillow nearby. All eyes were on Mira, the humble timber girl, brought forth by the guards, her cousins, Bella and Jasper, watched with cruel disbelief, certain she would fail. Mira takes a deep breath and slowly reaches out her hand. Her fingers gently brush the surface of the dull earring. The moment her finger brushed the metal, the earring of Ember blazed with brilliant light and warmth. The magic surged forth, dazzling the onlookers. The spirit of the hearth appears briefly in the surge of light above her, shimmering with pride, and then fades. Duke, stunned, then filled with joy. It is her, the true heart of courage and kindness. The Duke takes the solstice star pendant and approaches Mira. Bella and Jasper look utterly shocked and humiliated, whispering furiously to each other. The crowd erupts in cheers and applause, placing the pendant around Mira's neck. From this day forward, Mira shall be our guardian of the hearth, the keeper of the warmth and light of our valley. You are the lady of the solstice. Years later, Mira, now dressed in elegant but sensible attire, stands beside the grand hearth, which is perpetually clean and warm. She holds the glowing earring of Ember, preparing to light the valley's lanterns for the annual solstice festival. Mira was no longer known as the Timber Girl. She became a beloved guide and healer of hearts. Each year, she would light the festival fires, her light reminding everyone that courage and kindness shine brighter than any jewel. The people remembered her not as a girl of sawdust and shadow, but as the Lady of the Solstice, a woman who carried the flame of a kingdom all by herself.